Okay, so we are on, I know what month we are on. We're in March, our team meeting
Uh,
for March. If everyone doesn't mind muting, that'd be fabulous. Um, so we are going to go over. I know that Shonda's team meeting, so they all get a little like in-depth part on finding your why, etc. Last night on her team meeting, and I actually was spinning off of that, so I thought it was really great segue from Shonda's team, and anyone who's on my team. I can help them with that further depth. But if you haven't watched Shonda's team meeting, she did post it in our team page yesterday. I'm sorry, today. It is 15 minutes long. Go watch it. It doesn't take that long, and it's worth it. Um, so to click on it, we're going to say when we're clicking yes when we joined, we need to know why we clicked yes. But also when we sign on a new teamie, why did they click yes? Was it because they wanted a discount? Did they want to replace that eventual income for themselves? Did they just want something for themselves? Like we all have our different reasons. I personally, when looking for our why, and this is what Shonda's team meeting was finding their why, etc. I use a website called it's the number seven, levelsdeep.com. What this does, it helps you get your deep rooted why. Um, your why should make you cry. If you want to go into YouTube, I have mine on there, and mine's evolved from there. It's going to change often. So I always recommend looking at your why. Does it still fit with your needs and what you're looking for? Or does it need to change? And if so, if it needs to change, go back to that website, do it again. It's free. You can do it as many times as you want. But that's a good way to start as a building block to find out what is something that you need and why do you need this. You might think you need this because it's for income, but you might do this 7 layers deep test and it's telling you it's because you're looking for something to help build your confidence. It's just a great website. Um, the reason I bring this up is because we are going to be discussing World Tour that just happened in February and Scentsy Family Reunion coming up in July. Sorry, I'm the only one who went to SFR last year from our group, so I was very excited to share all the things. Um, so quick little shout out for those that are registered from our group. Myself, Shonda LePan, Devin LeFex, you'll see a lot of these names that are on right now. Tammy Dorr, Bree Domina, Christy Roberts, Heather Dunbar, and Kaylee Tucker. Y'all are registered already. So just shouting out, y'all are registered for in person too. So I will give you a full heads up. I'm a hugger and I like wine. So I will meet you all with a glass of wine and a hug. And Devin, yeah, Devin can attest that I like wine. He saw me at World Tour. Um, so surprisingly though, Scentsy not only offering though in person, they're also offering a virtual option. I don't remember, it's 50 something if I remember correctly for the virtual option cost this year, and 325 for the in person. Both are tax write-offs. Just remember that. Anything you do while you're down in SFR, when you go physically there, your meals, if you go to a team building thing, all that kind of stuff, keep your receipt. I write on the top, World Tour, Scentsy, and then what year it is, just so I remember, because I will not look at the little date on the receipt. Um, So from what I've also understood, there will not be any recordings this year. They will do in the virtual option that they're giving is at the same time as we have it, but they won't be recorded and there won't be additional recordings. That still could change. The world has been very different the last few years, so I always say stay tuned. Last year, Heather attended the virtual option, and I'm sure she would gladly tell you any experience she had from what she had on her side. So if you have not signed up and you're not sure if you want to go in person, reach out to Heather. She's very nice. She's very kind. Um, don't let her soft spokenness fool you. She's fun. Um, and for in-person event, I've been now to World Tour and to SFR. And get out of the chocolate. Sorry, my husband's stealing the kids' Easter candy. So I'm happy to tell you about SFR in person. I'm happy to tell you about World Tour in person. World Tour, this past time, there was a bunch of us that went. Shonda, I'm sure, would happy to talk to anybody. Tammy, Devin, who else went? Bree went. Christy went. Christy's the quietest person on our entire team. And she was also like my second teammate in this entire team. So she's very under the radar, but anybody will tell you their experience, and tell you that what you see on the screen is also what you get in person with me. So it is what it is. I'm sorry. But I also feel like I can say that about our team, is that everybody who went, I felt like they were exactly the same person in person as they were through the screen, which was really nice. It didn't come off like there was any facade in place, which I appreciate genuinely. So with World Tour, or with virtual versus in-person in the past. So I've done both. What I love about the in-person event side of Scentsy Family Reunion is the realness. There's not a screen between us. And you can tailor your experience towards you more than you could in comparison to like World Tour. One of the big perks about that is, as a community, we have one shared thing, Scentsy, right? We then can expand and say, hey, this person has a lot of kids. I relate to that. How do you plan? This person has a 9-to-5 job. This person does this. Like, you can find other people that are very similar to what you go through, to not only, if you want to, create accountability with them, but just know that maybe your systems or their systems could clash, that you guys can actually have a conversation and say what works for you and what works for them, and see if you can figure out something that works for both of you. It's a great way to not only grow your business, but I found it also helped grow me personally as an individual and gain confidence that I didn't know I needed in myself. Another benefit to the in-person SFR is the breakout sessions and workshops. I was able to say, okay, these are the 3 sessions I want to go see about, or I want to learn about. And it doesn't tell you who the presenter is usually, which is beneficial because you can actually go because you are interested in the actual topic. What I liked about that was what I need in my business. I could go see a presenter talk about tools for building a great onboarding system. But if Devin didn't need that and he wanted to look at how to do all these reports and make them beneficial for him, he could go to that session, I can go to my session, and then we can collaborate together at a later time. But that's what he needed for his business, and I needed something different for mine. And that's the huge benefit, is that you can tailor your experience to what you need as an individual and for your own business. Excuse me. Who's Devin? Matt. Yes. Sorry. Sorry, Devin tonight is Matt from Target. I apologize. So that's how we're going to identify Devin tonight. Okay, so another thing is, at World Tour, one of the biggest things that I found really beneficial was they had a whole session that was not even related to product. It was people who from home office were running reports. People had discussion boards up that of things you wanted to see, fragrances you were looking forward to, or stuff you wanted to see from the past brought back. There were so many interactive things from home office that it gave us the opportunity to actually have a conversation with someone and ask a question without being on hold to talk to customer support, because we don't only want to talk to customer support if we have a problem or if we need something fixed or whatnot. It gives a whole different element, and they were all amazing. Like, I cannot say anything negative about a single person I met from home office. They will hug you, they'll say hi, they'll ask you what your name is. I'm sorry, I've been in direct sales since I was 18. They asked me what? They asked me the basics of the basics, and I was like thrilled about that. That's not okay that other direct sales are like that. So I love that reason for home office. Hi, Kimber. And it helps you gain also a knowledge more of the company. Like you can ask them what their favorite fragrance is. You can ask them why they chose that job, and they can tell you the amazing side of Scentsy that you maybe don't know about. Um, and another big thing was I know some of you have your spouse signed up for attending with you. My husband attended with me last year, and he went to all of the breakout sessions and all of the workshops with me. And it was a great opportunity for him and I to collaborate, but him to see all the advantages that came with this business instead of yelling at me that there was another Scentsy box that I had tried to hide in between before he got home situation. So I always say, like, if someone's not 100% on board with this business, have them come and fully experience like Scentsy Family Reunion. It's completely different than World Tour. It is World Tour is I explained it as World Tour is the sprinkles, kind of like LTOs, but like the catalog is Scentsy Family Reunion. It's big. Excuse me. Another huge benefit, I know I keep saying another, is that you get to talk to consultants that you just watch on YouTube usually. And because they live in California. One that I watch on YouTube all the time, and you guys know this, is Wendy Heath Newgas, because she's our fundraising queen. And one thing I love is, even though she's out in California, she's done a training for our team, but I also have gotten to hug her in person. Same with Rihanna Franco, out in the West Side, got to hug her in person. Same with Katie Lassiter, down in North Carolina, got to hug her in person. And you can genuinely talk to these people and pick their brains. And what's the worst they're going to say? No? Hey guys, guess what? We already do that for our business. What's the worst that a hostess or someone's going to say? No? I can tell you, um, I talked to Chloe Cox. I talked to Melissa Gratz. I talked to Chastity Robertson. I talked to, like, the list of who I talked to, of people I watch on YouTube, was amazing. And they were genuinely so nice and genuinely informative and let me ask my stupid questions because I didn't understand something. It was really beneficial for me to be able to have that and build that relationship with other people that I don't necessarily see every day, but I also only see them behind a screen when I'm watching their videos and trainings. So that's one of the perks of going, is getting to learn from people that you necessarily would learn from, but then you can ask your questions to them without feeling like, I don't understand this. Can you explain this more? Um, and then my favorite part of World Tour, SFR, any in-person event, is the product displays. And the reason that is perk is because when you hold up a product, and I don't have one on here, I do. When you hold this up and you say to a customer, like, you are like, oh my gosh, I love this scent. It smells like this banana leaf and bamboo. But it made me think of this particular customer. When you reach out to that customer and say, hey, I just got back from our annual conference, our, whatever it is that we came back from. I smelled this and instantly thought of you because you like, and you say what they like. You are building that relationship, but you're also making them think of themselves as an individual and not a number. They're not just another customer. You were like, I thought of this because you love, like, this is a bad example, but like, when I think of the Little Mermaid, I have 3 customers I think of in particular. So if I run into another bar that's like, oh my gosh, it smells like the Little Mermaid, I'm going to text all 3 of those people and be like, hey, this bar smells like the Little Mermaid. It made me think of you when I smelled it. You might want to check it out, or we can book your party for when the new catalog starts, and we can get you that bar for free so that you don't even have to pay for it out of pocket. So building that relationship is a great extra step to take that picture. You have seen the product, you've held the product, you've smelled the product. You can see how big the warmers are. You can see the extra elements with the warmers. I took a picture with every single warmer I could get my hands on at SFR and World Tour and did a selfie with them because my customers then have seen that I've seen it. if I think of them like the sunflower, I thought of several people instantaneously. And when I saw it in person, my Aunt Tammy, I think of Emily from our team too, like instantly. But I have several customers, like my mom even likes the sunflower one. And when I saw that in person, it was so different in comparison to the actual picture we saw. Not a bad different, just the texture, the color was definitely different enough that I was like, okay, this is vibrant enough. This is a great opportunity. And then like the display was on a base versus a mini warmer display, completely different setup. Um, it gives you just, again, that opportunity to grow that customer, not only as this is an amazing product, but here's an amazing product. And I thought of you because I've seen you with pictures of sunflower fields behind you. Sunflower fields behind. Yes, I said that right. So it's just building that and making it better for the overall experience. Because I know personally, I can speak for myself, and I know I can speak for several teamies. You never want your customer to feel like a number. You want them to feel like that you genuinely care, you are appreciative of them, and you are trying to tell them things that they might love because you thought of them in that process. So those are some of the huge perks I personally found from SFR and World Tour. Um, I'm happy to hear from anyone who went to World Tour, for some big hints there, of anything that you found really beneficial for going, and what you are excited to see and or do with SFR in comparison. Like, I don't know if that made sense, or at least one or the other. You can do either one. I'm looking at one of you. I'm looking at Matt from Target.
No, one thing that was good about World Tour was actually having that like in person, like being with the others while they're learning as well and seeing like even like this like the directors and star directors that were there, like just to see all the other teams. And it's a whole different vibe than like just staying within our team. Like because there's so many other things that other people know that you may not know, and like no one has like brought up before. And just it was nice, you know, especially after this past couple of years, how everything's been. And even I lost my train of thought because that happens constantly. But where was I going with this? I don't know. But like practically everything Nikki said, it's just amazing. It's also like bonding experience, like with your teamies and all that. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to going to, because you already signed up for SFR.
hmm
What are you looking forward to going to SFR now that you've been to World Tour?
Um, I guess the more like the bigger amount of people that are going to be there, the more in depth it's going to be. Like it's World Tour, I can already see was like a tenth of what SFR is. And I am so excited for to see literally everything and anything I can about Sensi and what other people, because there's going to be a lot more people from everywhere and within the US, so, and Canada, I guess, too,
Mhm.
that it's you can also learn and meet them, just talk to them even about anything really, and you can learn so much. But yeah.
So Bree also mentioned in the chat meeting people in person and not behind the screen. Like that was huge for me when I first went to my first event when I went to SFR last year. I was like, wait, I got to talk to um, DPP in person for like 20 minutes just on sales and recognition. It was great. It was impromptu. It was like go with the flow. We just had a conversation. Um, what about Tammy? or Shonda, you both went to World Tour. Do you have any thoughts on that? Yeah, Shonda, I agree. Getting to know your team on a personal level. It's different when I don't know about a lot of you, but I read people in the respect of their body language. So that gives me an opportunity to be like, hey, um, maybe they're uncomfortable with the question I asked, or maybe they want to elaborate, but they need a little more pause time. And then you don't feel like, oh my gosh, did I offend somebody because there's a screen between you? It's very different in that respect. What about you, Aunt Tam? She's talking. I know Tammy met Devin at World Tour and became accountability partners with Devin. Is there anything from World Tour that you would take away that you like loved that you're looking forward to SFR because of it?
You're looking
Besides Devin.
No, I know. Me? Are you asking me? Because no. I like talking to two people at the same time. uh, so, anyways, my whole thing about World Tour was just being able to meet the people on our team and start a relationship with them all. We did some really, I mean, just as simple as going out to lunch, I mean, besides the drinking that, we bonded very well on that night. But like I wanted an accountability partner, and Devin's like 40 years younger than me. So, but like I love that also because it's such a different perspective. And maybe all he helps me with is my computer stuff, but no. But it's just great to check in with someone and just be like, hey.
Well, first off, Devin helps us all with our computer stuff.
Oh, good.
And secondly, what are something you're looking forward to with SFR in comparison then?
I am such an extrovert. So it's just really being able to absorb everybody's energy and suck it on myself and feed off from that and be like, I am going to Scentsy this world one person at a time. That's what I'm thinking, just because of how I am for my personality and extrovert and feeding off from energy. And I'm glad it's a positive energy.
I don't know where I get things like that from.
No clue.
No, I have no idea.
Nope.
The extrovert in us. Okay, that's good. Does anyone have any questions about Scentsy Family Reunion, the virtual or the in-person option? I'm happy to answer those questions. Even the introverts like my husband and Daryl even bonded over videos. So, I mean, we stuck them in the corner with drinks. All right, then I'm going to stop the recording.